Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about something that I like to bring up from time to time, and this is kind of my counterpoint to all of these various fad diets, and that's that just certain simple balanced eating has produced dramatically more success in building muscular, fit, and lean people than all these other diets, and I don't care whether it's a vegan diet, a ketogenic diet, whatever, a carnivore, carniraptor, whatever stuff that people come up with. And it really doesn't matter which fad diet or Whole30, whatever these new trends are. Okay? Any of these trends, when you look at the track record, simple diets like chicken, broccoli, and rice, or, chicken, rice, and vegetables, has had a much higher success rate. Okay? Basically eating like bodybuilders did for decades. Again, and I'm not telling you bodybuilders are the be-all, end-all of everything, but most people are following these diets trying to get leaner. They're trying to lose body fat. They're trying to be more muscular, more fit, right? What they really mean when you hear people say, toned, I want to get toned. Well, you mean gain muscle and lose fat that's what it actually means. Okay. So what you're describing means someone who's gained some muscle, and that's where you're getting the muscle tone and the shape from, while losing body fat. Okay. These sort of diets are more successful at it. And I'm not saying you have to follow a specific one. When I say chicken, rice, and vegetables, okay, I don't mean it has to be those specific foods. They work, though, because it's usually a lean animal source protein, starchy carbohydrate that's easily measurable, and then lots of vegetables. Okay, not saying that can't include some dairy and other stuff, because usually those people are usually throwing in protein powder or some Greek yogurt or some sort of lean dairy is usually thrown in on top of it. All right, egg whites, things like that. Sometimes with a few whole eggs. But the idea is the same. What do you see in common? Lean animal source protein, okay? Because that is going to be king. Data's pretty good on that. That is what gives us the best improvements in body composition. High protein diets with them leaning in the direction of higher bioavailability. That means meat, dairy, eggs, guys, okay? Right? That's what it means. Carbohydrates. Why? Carbohydrates are pretty filling. Starchy carbs tend to be pretty good for satiety. They're good for energy. Humans don't store these things as body fat. Not saying your calorie deficit is dependent upon this, because you eat whatever you want. If you burn more calories than you consume, then obviously you're going to lose some body fat. That is pretty much a scientific fact. No expert who's worked in a metabolic ward will even deny that. They'll argue about the degree to which it happens, but they'll all agree that happens, right? Consistently, even on junk food diets, over and over and over. Again, it's been pretty well proven. But, the other thing is even if you're trying to not gain fat, if you're trying to eat a little more, all right, that sort of approach works because our body uses carbohydrates as fuel. It doesn't really store them as fat. Right? Some of the studies that have looked at it have found that something like, out of all the body fat on your body, around 0 of it has come from protein you ate, right? Around 2% of it has come from carbohydrates that you ate, and 98% of it has come directly from your dietary fat. People might say, well, how do they determine that? With carbon isotope tracking. It's, again, we live in a world with pretty decent improving technology, right? Lo and behold, we can measure things. This works. Then lots of vegetables, right? Vegetables help with satiety. They help with thermic effect. They help with recovery. They help with all these other things. They help with just general health. All right, this sort of approach is time proven, and it works. It works better than all these fad diets. It's always crazy that people want to have a diet with a name. What we just called this forever was just eating clean. Bro diets. That's what it's called. Bro, just eat clean, bro. And that's usually what they mean. Some sort of lean meat. It can be fish. It can be lean cuts of steak, chicken, turkey, eating a lean protein source. Okay? A person who's vegetarian, that could be a fat-free dairy, it could be egg whites, so on and so forth. High quality lean proteins. Starchy carbohydrates is a primary fuel. Again, this sort of dietary approach tends to improve insulin sensitivity. It's good for training. It minimizes fat gain even when you do overeat. And again, gives lots of energy that's very easily trackable, because again, if you're eating a bunch of whole carbohydrates and that's kind of your lever, right? Because if fat is kept fairly low, that stays kind of constant. Protein, you usually, weigh out the lean protein sources and you know what you're eating. You're usually tracking some protein, shooting for a target. Traditional was always, shoot for a gram of protein per pound of body weight. That would be 2.2 grams per kilo. Now, some people will argue that's a little high, excessively high for muscle growth, but for potential fat loss, it may not be. Right? And then your lever is you just control calories with the amount of the starchy carbs that you eat. Now, I'm not saying you couldn't use fruits and stuff for some of that too. I've certainly done that in the past. But it's very easy to track that way. You can track your pasta, your potatoes, your rice. Rice is the easy one. That's why it's done. It's cheap, it's easy, it's convenient. It can be cooked into a lot of things. Right? You know what you're adding for sauce. It's easy to keep track of your calories. It's easy to adjust them based upon what you need to do with the scale, if you need it to go up or down or stay the same at the rate that you want it to, because again, it's a simple energy equation. Right? These sort of diets work. They're very, very good for just overall body composition and health. They're also easy to track, and the carbs are basically your lever. That is where you adjust the amount of the starchy carbs that you're eating to control energy. It's simple and it's easy and it works. People will say things like, well, I couldn't eat that. Well, yeah, actually you really could. You just haven't really tried. There's ways to make all these foods taste good. Learn how to cook, use little seasonings. Again, you can rotate some of these things around. That's kind of the point. Right? That's the point. And that's what I'm saying. This sort of method has been time proven. All these fad diets come out are just people trying to create communities of nonsense to get you to buy into something. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.